We have to put it out there that Overboard is
just get it out of the way.
Our most loved film.
I took my first steps on that.
On the yacht.
Oh, you did take your first steps on that. In 1959, my grandfather, on a barbecue that he made himself, he won the world's outdoor cooking championship.
God, you're such high achievers, all of you.
You're not sentimental about animals, then.
Well, I
Not
thank
out.
them for their service.
I got these ready-to-eat meals. And so myself, my dad, and my agent all had one was like spaghetti bolognese in a film, and my agent was like, "This is the craziest meal I've ever had with a client." I have no desire to be in the spotlight.
How's that working out for you, Wyatt? Hello and welcome to Table Manners. I'm Jessie Ware and it's a lovely sunny
Spring day.
Spring hath sprung. Today we have Kurt and Wyatt Russell, father and son, who also play the same character in the Apple TV show Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. They play Lee Shaw, and it's this kind of monster-verse of Godzilla, Kong, scientists, relationships, it's all of it. And so they play the same character but at different stages of their life. So Wyatt is playing Lee Shaw when he is post-war 50s, younger. And then Kurt plays him when he's, mid-60s, in the kind of 2014 time. So we've got them both coming on and, very excited to have them.
Me too.
You have cooked today, Mum.
I've cooked today.
What have you made?
For my heartthrob.
Well, we do love Kurt Russell. Overboard is our ultimate, isn't it?
It was our family film, wasn't it, really?
Is that inappropriate or not? No, I don't think so.
We all loved it. It's got something for everyone.
Something for everyone, yeah.
I've cooked John Gregory Smith.
Good old John Gregory Smith.
Love you. It's a prawn with orzo.
Okay, great.
And then I've made a little jam salad with a chive vinaigrette and pickled red onions.
Where'd you get that idea from?
I just looked up. I've got 2 bags of chives in my fridge, so I looked up little jam and chive, and it came up.
Wow, my breath is going to smell fabulous.
Yeah,
for later.
It's very garlicky. And then I've made a chocolate whiskey cake. Basically a chocolate cake made with cocoa, not chocolate, cocoa.
Okay.
And then I made that on Saturday, actually. And then you make a milk and whiskey soak. Ooh. And you pour it over the top so the whiskey sinks into the cake, and then it's got a caramel glaze.
Yum. Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell coming up on Table Manners. Kurt and Wyatt Russell, thank you so much for being here.
For having us.
Yeah, this is
Your home.
yeah. Mum was saying we just need Goldie, and then we've and Oliver, and then we've nearly had the full set. How many? No, hold on. How many siblings have you got?
3 siblings, so it's Oliver, Kate, and Boston.
Okay, we need Boston, Oliver, and Goldie, and then we've done it.
That would be a fun. That's a fun group.
Boston's
and
a
Meredith,
good
we need
podcast.
Meredith here. Wyatt's wife.
Oh, you're right.
Tag her.
Yes.
How is Meredith with your 2 children that are full of germs?
Yeah, she is. She is the rock of the family right now. We've traded off. She was doing work here in London before me. I was with the kids. Now it's her turn to be with the kids, and they're all sick, of course. And it's a bummer. But she's got the immune system of like a god.
But you don't.
No.
Right.
I get the man flu. And it's like I go down and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a useless
You sound not
human
well,
being.
actually.
It's just the nasal now. It's no longer the sick
I've got
part.
nasal spray coming out my ears upstairs if you need any.
Okay. No, yeah.
Kurt's watching my mum deal with the dinner.
Can never have too much butter.
Your mum, wow, that is a lot of butter.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. Whilst Mum is dealing with I think we're having some kind of paella thingy, something. Let's start at the beginning because we don't have you for too long. I want to know about both of your childhoods. So let's start with you, Kurt. Who was around the dinner table and what's a very memorable food?
Well, in 1959, my grandfather, on a barbecue that he made himself, he won the world's outdoor cooking championship.
God, you're such high achievers, all of you.
This was he was a great chef.
Wow.
Yeah, he built a log cabin in Maine in 1939, and we were there a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where we kind of grew up as very young. But we would go back once my dad moved the family to California because he became an actor after he played baseball. Then we'd go back and see them quite often. And as the years went by, it was always great when Buddy, who was my grandfather, he has his son's named Buddy. Buddy would always cook for us. And it was big in our family. And what I can always remember is he was one of those that was like, there's still some left there in the middle, so we would all have to, finish up whatever he had cooked. And he had a really renowned hotel on Kennebago Lake, where for many years in the beginning, from the early 1950s to the early 1960s, before union laws changed, he had one of the most famous buffets in the United States.
Which I didn't believe until I saw photos in my grandmother's and grandfather's photo album when Lulu was dying. We were going through the photos, and I was like, "Where's this?" And it was like this epic. I mean, it really was
epic,
like as epic as they described. I was like, "Oh my god, it was epic."
Please, can you describe it to the listener now?
Kennebago Lake was a 5-mile long by 1 mile lake. Still, it's in a different arrangement now. There's 31 cabins, and there was a main lodge. And on Thursday nights, he had this buffet, and they'd fly in from Florida, from San Francisco, from New York. They spend the night and have the buffet. The buffet was fantastic. You've seen it.
It was amazing.
And you ate the buffet. Did you ever get to eat it?
No, because by the time I worked there as a busboy and worked behind the front desk, he was unable to do it anymore because of the union laws had changed for the chefs, and they didn't have enough time to make it. So he said, if I can't do it right, then I'm not going to do it.
So what would be served on the buffet? Barbecue?
No.
This was
fine
night.
dining.
Fine dining. Sorry,
and it was up in it's 9 miles from the town of Rangeley, which was 900 people.
So
it wasn't easy to get there.
Yeah.
He helped build the airport.
Okay.
That was nearby, where you could have private-owned airplanes to go into.
And did you learn to fly because you were inspired by? You fly, don't you?
Yes,
Used to.
I flew for 30 years, and I never really knew why I flew or why I started flying, but I took my certification for my medical. And the doctor asked me an interesting question. He said, why'd you get into flying? I said, I don't know. I had this one instance where I was hunting at a guy's place, and he said, if you could fly over here in probably 25 minutes rather than the 2.5 hours it takes you to get here. Got me to thinking about it, and I started flying. And then the medical doctor said, do you have anybody in the family who flies? I said, no, but I said my grandfather was national stunt champ. The same man was the national stunt, what they called stunt flying then, which was aerobatics champion for 6 years. And he stopped logging hours at 55,000 hours. And I said, talked to Buddy about a lot of his flying and stuff. And he said, you'd be surprised how many guys I asked that question who don't know why they got into flying, who had somebody in the family who flew. And
you should fly then.
My dad. I'm all right. I'm like,
I
like
there's something you want to do it.
Well, no. I mean, we'll talk about all your extra, curriculum hobbies that you both have, whether that's wine or cocktails and violin making, and then just being pro sport people as well, whilst also being international superstars on the screen. So you do everything. But now to you, Wyatt. Family memories of food around the table, and who was there?
It was a weird point of contention with my wife and I.
Oh, okay.
Because we grew up not having, everybody's schedules were crazy. My brother's 10 years older than me, Kate's 7, Boston's 6. Mm-hmm. Oliver's 10 years older than me. So everybody had different schedules. We would have dinner a lot around the TV. And so we wouldn't have sit down dinner, here's what it is, because our schedules just didn't allow that. Uh-huh. My wife had it very regimented. Carrie, your sister, got the cups of milk. It was Meredith's job to do this. And that was every night. So what I remember is the fun of the chaos around dinner. And then my grandma, always had a few recipes that I really remember because then my mom would make my grandma's recipes.
Jewish grandma. This is who
Laura.
your sister, when she came on the podcast, talked about.
Yeah. Well, brisket.
French toast. Oh, brisket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grandma's brisket was a very distinct taste. I can't explain it at all.
Bad?
Great. Amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It was it wasn't very fatty brisket. Uh-huh. It was so it wasn't fall apart in your mouth brisket. It had a texture to it. Uh-huh. And then shepherd's pie was another big one.
I thought that was an English thing.
It was that was something that we had a lot.
Yeah. Goldie, you got to understand, Goldie is a hell of a cook.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, she's especially with game.
really good. And then she makes a beef stew that like is unbelievable. And then the other
got
thing,
some pressure on
the
you.
other thing, the other one that is American and has American in the name, American chop.
American chop suey.
It was like, so basically it's like a homemade hamburger helper. I don't know what you guys would have. Hamburger helper was like, you do ground beef
noodles.
and then you put in
Curly noodles.
Yeah, but hamburger helper was like in a packet.
Yeah.
But this is like a vast bolognese, but you cut up carrots and cut up celery, peas,
Yeah.
and it
Tomatoes.
all goes.
And you mix
beef,
it all in together and cook
mix
it
it all
together.
together, but it's quick with macaroni noodles. And I'd never made it for Buddy. And Buddy was hungry like a week ago, and I was like, I want to make Buddy some like American chop, and we made it. And our neighbor's daughter as well had it, and like they were like loving the American chop. And I was like, yeah, it's awesome, it's great.
Is it? Do you think what makes it so delicious is the hamburger helper? Is that like a sachet of like?
Yeah, so it's not, we don't use hamburger helper, but it tastes like hamburger
and
helper.
what kind of spices are in that, or like
like
garlic powder,
garlic
maybe?
powder,
Cumin.
Okay.
Maybe
Paprika?
I don't know if there's cumin in
paprika. No, there's no
maybe
cumin.
cumin,
It's
no.
cumin, not cumin.
And in the chili world.
Yeah, maybe I think there's nutmeg in there.
Okay.
But it's not a lot of spices.
Okay.
It's very basic. The whole
You
point is
need
that it's
Goldie
like basic,
here.
basic.
We
Yeah.
do need Goldie here.
She knows her.
Yeah.
She knows her stuff. She
Yeah.
can talk. She can talk cooking with
I
you.
mean, I think we have to put it out there that Overboard
We
is
just get it out of the way.
probably my most loved film. I think, how many times have we watched it? But I mean, like hundreds of times.
It's a
If we were
sweet
feeling a bit
movie.
miserable, we'd watch Overboard.
Every time I turn on, we just were flipping through the TV the other day in New York, and I was like, well, there it is, like Overboard.
It's
Still there.
Classic.
Yeah. People still
best
watch
film.
it.
And you were so mean.
Not for you.
Yeah,
were
so she.
awesome
So
of your
justified
When she was mean.
We knew you were going to fall in love, obviously, from the beginning.
That was a wonderful screenplay, and I thought it was like one of Goldie's greatest performances because she plays such different people, but the same within the same person.
And you were a couple by then, no?
Yeah, we got together in 1983 on a picture that she was producing and starring in called Swing Shift. We met there, and then 3 years later, Wyatt was born in '86, so this must have been '87.
I think I was like
late spring of '87,
11 months or something. I remember the story goes that I took my first steps on that
On the yacht?
movie.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
They had a trailer. They had trailers set
Yeah.
next to each other. I've seen pictures. That's how I'm remembering it in my mind. But like I have a picture of Mom going, with her face. We have that in a photo album somewhere. But it sticks to my head. Like it must have been my first steps or something.
Oh, well, you did take your first steps on that, yeah.
You're so many. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you couldn't
circus
ever be
life.
anything but an actor.
Well,
I mean,
you
there's
were,
probably
though.
sort of, I played professional hockey for a few years. I stopped when I was 23, 24.
Ice hockey or
Ice hockey. Field hockey's not hockey. Sorry. I know field hockey's very popular, so I don't want to offend anybody.
No, but carry on.
Ice hockey was my
hockey's the
game.
thing.
And I played in Canada and the United States.
Which is like the top place to probably play,
played
right?
in Europe, too.
I mean,
I'm just going by heated rivalry, so I'm just going with like Montreal. And,
No, Russia and Sweden and Czech Republic, like all of these countries, they have like very vibrant hockey cultures. Finland, Sweden, but in Canada, it's a religion. And so when I was 15, where you went at that time, now there's more places to go, but where you went at that time, you really did kind of have to move to Canada to play if you wanted to further your career. And I was good at it. And that was what I wanted to be since I was 5 years old.
So being on the sets was not like...
It was fun.
It was fun, but you were like, I'm at
No.
mum and dad's work. It was like The Office.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it was a really fun experience to drive a golf cart around and, drive the actors to set and wander around a back lot.
Snacks were good, I'm sure.
Snacks were amazing.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers on demand, like
Amazing.
it was fun. I didn't see the acting part and be like, I want to do that. I have no desire to be in the spotlight. That's not,
How's that working out for you, Wyatt?
pretty good because it's more, honestly, the better things get, the less I have to be in the spotlight. Meaning I can just do the like, I don't have social media or anything.
Lucky you.
I just don't care about it. It wasn't for me. Because I just like doing the thing that I do. I like playing hockey and being a hockey player, but anything outside of that, it was like, I didn't care to portray myself as anything other than what I was doing. The same thing with acting, where I got a lot of pressure in the beginning. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And every time I wouldn't, it would be like, I don't know, I got that job. I'm like, they didn't seem to care. Nobody really gives a fuck. Sometimes it can hurt you more than it helps. For me, it didn't make sense to do. And meaning I just did it the way I really felt like I wanted to do it, especially after hockey. You get very micromanaged by coaches, and the process of that felt micromanaging. So when I went into film, after I got hurt, it was like, well, I'm doing this my way or no way.
What was the first job that you got?
The first job that I really got, that I auditioned for, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this out, was a movie called Cowboys and Aliens, where like you blink and you miss me. But I got that, and I got a Law and Order.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a rite of passage.
Oh, yeah. And I was pumped. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, my God. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I did a cowboy movie and a Law and Order. I was like, this is going to be great.
What was your character in Law and Order?
I don't remember his name, but he was an in over his head kid from like Seattle who was in a bling ring that was Lindsay Lohan's mom got robbed or something.
Yes, I remember there was a Netflix show called Bling Ring, wasn't like?
Yes,
yeah,
that was
and they
that,
were like,
that was
yeah.
based on
Okay.
So I was I was the prequel to the Bling Ring.
Okay.
And I steal her jewelry and I get shot and I like had to be dead for 2 days on the ground. It was like this hilariously kind of cheesy role. But I was like, I'm going to make this as good as I possibly can. And then I got this Cowboys and Aliens movie. I get to play in them. It was awesome. And then 2 years of nothing. I was like, oh my God, this is not going to work out for me. And then I got something else that changed my life. But those were the first two things that I really worked on and tried out for and got. And it was interesting because what made me be like, this is an amazing industry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I fell in love with acting. You got to understand that you're looking at when you grow up and you see the other side of it.
Yeah.
And you were like I was as a human being.
Yeah.
It's not everybody. My sister wasn't this way. That's why she's my sister. And I'm not. But I didn't like what I saw. I didn't enjoy some of the things that I saw. I didn't like not going to. Well, I didn't like being able to go to hockey games with my dad and have it be like
share him, the kind of or.
I just wanted to go to the hockey game with my dad.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't. Some of the people that I met, even at 5 years old, some people you'd be like, I don't know, you don't feel like an honest person. I just didn't like being around it. So I didn't take to it the same way that people would think. So coming back around to it, that it really was. I'm going to do it my way, and I realized that as I'm getting older, that I really was sort of just cutting my nose off to spite my face at times. I do like this. I do enjoy the creative aspect.
Great
of
at it.
Thank you. Learned to be, but I didn't start off going, oh man, like this is amazing. Like, the work, the incredible. I just sort of looked at the other side of it and said, well, I don't know if I want to live my life like that. And I've been able to skirt most of it. Now I have my own kids and we do things our own way, but
How is that for you and your kids? I mean, because you must have people coming up to you when you're out, right? Or are people quite respectful?
Yeah.
Do you think
I think
because
people
you're
are
not
more,
on social media, it helps?
Yeah, I do. I think that people aren't.
Cheers,
darling.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
Thanks
to the
for having us in
success
your home.
of-
Being here.
And to the success of the new
Monarch, Legacy of Monsters.
Legacy
Yes.
of Monsters, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. I do think that. I do think that people know that I'm not, or they don't see me every day, or and I think that they're more respectful of coming up. And I probably don't. I don't give off a vibe of like, hey, I usually have a huge beard and long hair, and
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
more
you were
of what I
quite
look like.
slick.
Oh,
Very
thank you.
scientist-like.
Playing a part. I'm playing a part of the
Wyatt
actor.
is a scientist.
Yeah,
I
I like
sound
that.
of that.
Let's talk about the Apple show. You're in your second season. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's high budget. Like, it looks very, I mean, there's Kongs coming at you, Godzilla, fucking raptors, it's big.
But you need to explain it for a 74-year-old woman. Exactly.
I'm so glad to hear you.
Yeah, totally.
I've got a few weeks of being 74 myself before I turn 75. So here's to that.
Yeah.
Here's to people.
You guys are not included in that.
Yeah, you wait.
It is big. It is epic. I mean, this was one of the things that Wyatt and I looked at before we joined in the process of making the show in the first year. Neither one of us really sparked the idea of the movies. They have their own niche and they are what they are, but we looked at it and said, what about that? But then we read and heard what they wanted, spoke with them, what they wanted to do. And we felt that in that regard, we could bring something to that show that would be very strong. And that was to play the same character in something that grounded it in relatable human aspects. These are real people having to deal with a real situation, which is a simple sci-fi idea of what if this really happened. It wasn't just a monster MMA fight. These people are having to deal with this. And
what's an MMA fight?
It's like
like boxing and kickboxing.
Where it's like gloves on.
On a very large level.
Okay.
Yeah,
what
with the monsters.
What does MMA stand for then?
Mixed martial arts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you do that in your spare time too?
God, no.
Not yet.
I used to take karate
You did.
when I was a kid.
So you were good with that big spider?
Yeah. My dad did a movie called Tarantula. No, when it comes to big spiders, that's his world in Australia.
Oh God! So we were in Australia
real
shooting.
spiders?
Oh yeah, we were. So I was
Oh my
like
God.
such a wuss when it comes to spiders and snakes. I do not like them. But
Join him on that.
Well, we together share
Not my thing.
some sort of DNA past
Yeah.
thing that links us to spiders are bad, snakes are bad. And my son, we were sleeping in bed, and my son wakes up, and I'm kind of waking up too, and my son just looks up, and he's 4 at the time, and he goes, "Wow, it's a really big spider." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "It's a really big spider." And I look over, and there's a spider the size of my head.
Oh no!
Oh my
no!
God.
Just sitting on the wall, and I was like, "Whoa, that is a big spider."
And you're trying to be calm for your kids so they don't inherit the genetic.
No, but except I'm like, "Dude, we gotta figure this out." And he's like, "No, it's fine." And I was like, "What do you mean it's fine?" And then that night, it didn't move. That was the other thing. It just stood there all day.
Hold on, you didn't get someone to take
This
it out.
spider's bigger than my hand.
Why didn't you get someone to take it out?
There's no point in it. He's going to be back the next
I don't know.
day.
I mean, like,
How did he get in?
So I got in through the cracks. I don't know. Apparently, they can make themselves real flat. I got a bowl and like a stick and like tied the stick. That's how big it was. You had to get a bowl. It wasn't a cup. Like this wouldn't fit over the spider.
no.
You had to get something like bigger than this.
I'd move room.
So I did.
Okay, right.
So I was like, buddy. That night, spider was still there and had moved to another wall, and I was like, bud, we're not sleeping in this bedroom tonight. And he's like, no, I want to sleep in this bed. And I'm like, we're sleeping downstairs. This isn't going to work. And he's like, you can sleep downstairs. And I was like, so you're going to sleep up here alone with the spider? And he was like, yeah. He's like, and I was like, he's like, he won't. He's not going to do anything. The spider's not going to do anything. And I was like, how do you know? I was like, what if it crawls over your head in the middle of the night? And he was like, it was
He's sounding like the adult in this.
100%. So then we fall asleep, and when he fell asleep, I picked him up and carried him downstairs. And I was like, fuck that. We're not sleeping in this room, dude. Like, I don't care what you say.
Did you identify the species of
Yeah. It's
Is it huntsman?
Yes. Which,
Oh,
that's what's for dessert.
No. So huntsmen actually are not as poisonous as people think. But
Why are they called huntsmen then?
Because they hunt the bugs. They're very good bug eaters, and they're actually very good to have in the house. I learned all of this afterwards. They're not little child eaters. No. They're those two.
We all watched Arachnophobia when we were younger, didn't we? And it fucked us all up.
100%.
Arachnophobia.
Do you remember that?
No, but I woke up this morning. I had this crazy dream. I won't go into it, but it was hysterically funny.
Oh, that's good.
And in the dream, I was trying to get the word arachnophobia.
You're welcome, Kurt. There you go. Kismet.
Very much.
So you'd be
They're
good
there.
on this film fighting the spiders.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't think I meet any spiders, but
That's good.
but yeah.
do you never do any scenes together, obviously, right? Because you're in different times. You're in the 50s, post-war, and you're kind of 2015, 16.
Right.
So
Right.
never were you in scenes together, but you were both playing the same part. Did you go back? Because you were living together, I believe, whilst
Yeah.
you were filming.
In the
yeah.
second season, we lived together.
Okay.
Talk to him about what his choice of meal was in Australia.
What
when
was
we
your
were living
choice of
together.
meal in Australia?
This is. this is
When you live with Goldie, you
Yeah.
eat well.
Okay.
Really well.
She's just the dream woman.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. She's a great, well, she's my favorite human being that I ever knew. When you go away and you're going to go, kind of live the bachelor life, you live the bachelor life, which means you go to the store, you get about 50 of those ready to cook, ready to, just put them in the oven things, put them in the
Like a ready
microwave.
meal.
Yeah.
It's ready to make, and they're,
but this
I
is
had
the best
different
thing.
kinds.
Usually, your agent comes into town.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What restaurant do you want to go to?
Yeah.
How much money can I spend on you?"
Yeah.
Basically, because the agency's paying for
And
it.
like Australia's great for food too.
And well, where we were was good.
Okay.
I don't want to put it down. It has some good
Yeah,
restaurants,
good.
but it wasn't a plethora of amazing
Okay.
restaurants, right? Some our age, we share the same agent who walks up to the apartment and he's like, "Where do you guys want to go?" And we both didn't really want to go out, and so we're like, "Oh, we'll just stay here." And he's like, "Okay." I was like, "Would you want to order food?" And he was like, "Nah, I got these ready to eat meals." And so myself, my dad, and my agent all had like one was like spaghetti bolognese in a film, and we were like, my agent was like, "This is the craziest meal I've ever had with a client."
It's funny. I've never heard this story. I never even thought about it. It's like and then I was like, when I'm on my own, it's just whatever, peanut butter and jelly. It's where we're gonna go.
He's the simplest, easiest. As we said, we're the cheapest date in town, and you said that last night. But it's true. Like it's as simple and easy as you can keep it. It's better for everybody.
But when you get home, what are you asking Goldie to cook? And what are you asking, can Meredith cook?
Meredith is an unbelievable
Okay.
chef. She's like follows all the Ottolenghi.
Ottolenghi, yeah.
Alison Roman is a
We
huge.
love Alison. She's
She's amazing. They like have a relationship on Instagram. Like, Meredith is like, well, she'll do the thing where on a Sunday she will take out all of her cookbooks. The kitchen looks like a bomb has went off. That is her hat. I just walk by it and be like, there it is. Like, it looks awesome and it's going to be amazing. And she'll cook new amazing things. Like, she's unbelievable.
Amazing.
this.
So
Ooh.
Prawns with orzo, with sun-dried tomatoes, some chili, some paprika, and just prawns.
Sparing is nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so,
yeah.
yeah.
Are we talking about wine now? Can we go to Gogi?
Yeah, we can finish up with some lake hour talk.
We're going to talk
I think
about
it's time to talk a little wine.
Cheers. Let's talk about wine.
This is
Fine wine.
It's all
what's your
wine's all
fa-
about pairing. I don't really care for wine alone.
Okay.
Don't you?
I mean, you can drink it alone and all that, but for me, it's all about with food.
I know, it's one of my strong points, drinking wine on its own.
Listen, when you fall in love with wine, you're going to do that. But I'd rather have this with this.
Yeah.
But you wanted to really learn the craft
Yeah.
of making wine.
Fess Parker, Daniel Boone. I'd done a few Daniel Boones when I was young, and he and my mom remained friends with Fess. He went into wine, and years later, we went up there to see him at his vineyard. Mm-hmm. And it was just so appealing. And we went on these bicycle trips, Goldie and I. Kids sometimes went, and she said one year, "Where do you want to go this year?" I said, "I'd kind of like to go back to that Burgundy area." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "I just think it's really pretty and it's really nice. I'd like to go back there." She said, "I think you like the wine." And I said, "Yeah, you're right. I do like the wine there." So we did go back, and I really did start getting focused on this wine.
Uh-huh.
And it just happened to me. I just said, "Man, it'd be fun to make that. It'd be fun to know how to do that."
Crikey.
And I wonder if there's any way to learn that. Well, years later, the opportunity did arise. And I was doing a picture, a Tarantino picture, and we were in the Santa Ynez / Santa Rita Hills area, about 2.5 hours north of
Okay.
L.A., 45 minutes north of Santa Barbara.
Okay.
When I wasn't working, I would go wine tasting. And I noticed something, and Pinot Noir was my thing. I loved this Pinot. I learned that. I didn't know that. I didn't know what Pinot Noir was. I didn't know red from blue. Then I was introduced to some people. Peter and Rebecca work at Amplos Vineyards. After meeting them, they mentored me. And I was at a time in my life, working-wise, where I just honestly didn't care about working that much. And I wanted to learn something new. And I got into that for about 4 years. I spent a lot of time up there. And learned how to make the Burgundian style. I find that's the only wine I really do enjoy without a meal.
And is the colour still quite light on yours? You can see through it.
No, it's not as dark as the California Pinots generally are.
Okay.
It has a nice tint to it. Around the edge, right? Around this edge, but it's a beautiful, nice medium purple color.
Yeah.
The most important thing with Pinot Noir for me is that your nose matches your taste buds.
Do you drink anything but Pinot?
Not really.
Do you do a white Burgundy?
I love white.
Me too.
And by the way,
love white
I make
Burgundy.
Goldie. My Pinots each year are named as Gogi wine is the name of my brand.
Yeah.
That's my old nickname of mine.
Yeah.
Every year it's named after a different family member, all the way back through my sister's families and everything. So they all had nicknames. So they each year that changes. But the Chardonnay is always called Goldie.
Of course.
And I make that Chardonnay to match her essence. Thank you.
My God, Wyatt, when you met your wife, you must have had to be like, wow, she has to live up to a lot because my mum and dad have got like
the best relationship.
It must have.
No.
No, I'm not like that.
No. When we met,
How did you meet?
we're doing a movie together. We were raised always like our house, as much as people probably are like, well, it's perfect. Like it's just like every other family, but we deal with just anything that comes our way has always just been dealt with, I think, head on and in a realistic way. Like you face the reality of the situations. That's what's kept us together and strong and all those things. And so when I met my wife, I never had an expectation of anybody that I was ever with to be like my mom.
It's a bit Oedipal, isn't it?
Yeah. No, my mom was always, extremely independent, is obviously an extremely independent person, but family comes first. Even, she had the ability to balance those things, an incredible ability to balance those things, and that can be very difficult. As I know with my wife, Meredith loves being a mom more than anything on planet Earth. There's nothing more important. And we make sure that our kids know that. Work is second to the kids. Now, there's sometimes where you have to sacrifice a little bit and push-pull here, and the other one's got to pick one up. But they were always a really good team independently of each other, meaning this person needed to do this thing, they went and did it. This person needed to do this thing, they went and did it. And, they supported each other in their things that I really need to do this. He wanted to fly airplanes, and that's a dangerous thing. She supported him. He went off and did it. My mom still travels the world and does speaking engagements and does her incredible foundation that she's had for 25 years. So the independence of the person that I was with was very important. And Meredith has that. She has this ability to be the world's greatest mom. It's all she wants to do, but also this very independent streak of wanting her to be herself, not lose herself to other things, whether it be work, lose yourself to your family. You can lose yourself to lots of things. So that's really the only thing I really cared about in a partner, because I knew that when you have that kind of thing, and then you can be good teammates, you got a good shot. So that's really, I think, what my mom, my sister, they're strong women and they do things the way they do them. But family that's for me, it's all that matters at the end of the day.
Mum, what have you got here?
What this is. Oh. So it's New York Times. And it's a chocolate and whiskey cake.
Ooh.
Oh, you see? You're excited. Yeah,
Ooh,
let's
that's
see.
going to work.
But you haven't made
Chocolate
it before, but
and whiskey.
it looks kind of like a tiramisu, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
From-
does.
But it isn't.
Oh, it's got like a
It's a
caramel.
caramel thing.
That's where I
on the
faked
top.
me out. I don't have my glasses on, but that looked like tiramisu. Kind
Yeah,
of.
I know.
isn't.
Yeah.
Are you like a baker or do you just?
I'm not anything.
No,
really,
she's a
Johnny. I
great
can
cook. She
cook.
Katie
does-
loves to bake. Did you guys talk baking? She loves to bake.
She is an unbelievable.
She's
baker.
a
Really?
good baker.
Oliver won.
Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me.
Yeah.
We have a champ in
By the way, the
family.
best chef in our family,
Oliver.
Oliver.
Okay,
Oh,
Oliver.
he's an outdoor cooking
Like
genius.
he's like
He's inherited your
he
grandma.
he didn't inherit it because he didn't come from me. I wish he'd open a place.
Really?
Oh no, he's that good.
Like,
legitimately,
tell me
he
about.
had a tomahawk steak that was given to him by a company, and he was like, "I'm cooking this tonight. You guys want to come over and eat it?" And we were like, "Yeah." He cooked it. I swear to God, to this day, I swear on my life that it was the best steak I've ever had in my life.
So listen, we ask everybody their last supper. What would be your starter, your main, your dessert, and your drink of choice?
I would go burrata.
Yeah.
And I would do an amazingly, honestly, the steak my brother cooked. If I could bring that back that
Okay.
day, I would have that.
Okay. Drink of choice?
A drink of choice would be iced tea, unsweetened iced tea. It's like gives me a little pick me up. It's got a taste,
You can't really get it here.
a little
can you?
hydrating. You can't get iced tea here?
I don't feel like it's such a thing as like in America.
That's insane.
Well, I'm sure
never
you could
hot
ask, but it would
here.
taste like shit.
It's never really that hot that
That's
you need
true.
an iced tea.
Although
I do
last
like an
summer it
Arnold
was.
Palmer.
Arnold Palmer's a good one. I might switch to Arnold
Okay.
Palmer.
Dessert?
And for dessert, I have a milkshake, chocolate milkshake.
Homemade or a place?
No, I'd have it from like a true diner, like a
Okay.
50s diner.
Malt?
milkshake.
Is malt going to be in there?
No malt.
Okay.
Just straight up milkshake.
And before we go on to Kurt's, let's talk about Lake Hour. It's a sparkling cocktail drink.
Lake Hour.
The carrot was good.
So
What,
it kind of ties
what
back into the
cocktails
story.
do you do?
Yeah, it's
We do. So we have vodka iced teas,
Oh,
blackberry,
that sounds
blueberry,
great.
green tea,
Kind of
Earl
Long
Grey.
Island iced tea kind of thing.
Yeah, but the whole point. I don't know how big they are here in the UK.
What?
Pre-mixed drinks. So like
Oh, they're
crack 'em open.
massive.
Okay, so we have the iced teas, and then we have a seltzer version, which is a low carbonated. It's not like super carbonated. We have a watermelon flavor. We have a yuzu flavor. We have a peach flavor, and a new one, passion fruit tangerine. They're really 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 good.
Like La Croix is very big in America.
Yes.
Everyone has it in their fridge,
Yes.
don't they? Like, so that with a bit of booze in sounds kind of fab.
It's honestly exactly sort of what it's
Great.
like.
Now to your last supper, Kurt.
okay. I'm going to have a bowl of asparagus soup from Munich, Germany. There's
Oh.
the restaurant. Can't remember the name of it. Couldn't find it last 2 times I was there.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Panicking because I can't find it. And it was like half air, half mist
Was it like a velouté? Was it kind of...
in that zone. So Goldie and I had this. We said this is the best bowl of soup we've ever had.
Okay.
And then definitely elk tenderloin with corn on the cob, or shaved off, lots of butter,
What are the
baked
sides?
potatow
Okay.
with everything on it.
Okay. What's everything on it? Come on, just hit me.
You know, sour cream. But butter first, chives, sour cream, salt and pepper. No salt, just pepper. You know what's great about baked potatoes is you put cream corn on them in there. Like, that's
know.
great.
Everything's
Everything
good.
you can't miss, right? So that, I'm probably. If I've got green in there, it's going to be maybe roasted Brussels sprouts, maybe just done just right with again a lot of butter.
Okay.
And then for dessert, I'm going to have a chocolate caramel strawberry sundae
Very
with
specific.
cream on top. I'm going to have with the meal.
Yeah.
To start with, I'm going to have probably one of the Grand Cru whites, and then for the meal, I'm going to have a
Pinot Noir.
a Richebourg.
What is that?
What is it?
Richebourg is Grand Cru. It's my
Okay.
favorite Pinot.
Okay.
It's my
I
favorite
didn't even
Pinot.
know.
Okay.
I thought there was one Pinot.
I
I
thought it was
didn't know
one
there was a whole
Pinot,
lot of
yeah.
Pinots around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you asked him what his favorite meal was, all I heard in my head was my brother, because he goes hunting and he takes an elk like that'll.
It's Oliver.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. Well, when he would go hunting,
Oh, right.
Oliver made the joke, and you fill your fridge for the year, sometimes 7. You know, you've got elk from 2013 in there. And Ollie, one day it was Matt and Luke and Ollie and I, and it was like on the chairlift going over skiing. And it's like, what'd you have for breakfast? Gogi cooked breakfast. What'd you have for breakfast? He was like, oh, we had elk heart and eggs.
Oh, jeez.
And then it was like, well, what'd you have for dinner? And it was like, oh, we did have elk tenderloin for dinner. I was like, what'd you have for lunch? It was like the elk steak sandwiches. And Ollie goes, what'd you have for dinner? Elk ice cream. I was like, there's a world where you only have elk at your final.
That's the finest meat on earth.
Do you have like a condiment with that? Would you have like lingonberry?
Yeah, lingonberries and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's sacrilege.
What is that?
Okay.
Anything like that is
I
sacrilege.
think it's like venison, isn't it?
You just
Yeah, it's
want
like
even certain rubs are sacrilege.
baby of
With
meat,
elk meat,
Jesse.
you just want butter in your pan, heat it up slowly, but then get it hot. You've got a nice tenderloin. It's probably an inch and 3/4 to 2 inches, right? And it's been well taken care of. That's key.
And zero fat.
It's
on
all
an
about
elk,
how
so
you
it
take
cooks
care of
like
You're not
that.
sentimental about animals then.
Well, I
Not
thank
elk.
them for their service. The shrimp were good. I don't have, I didn't see any
You're
problem
making out
cooking
that
them.
you're a fucking
I'm
vegan.
not vegan, but I don't think I could do a reindeer.
No, by the way,
Is that-
there's no pleasure in the taking of life. There's great pleasure and honor in taking an animal that feeds you. And I respect that and honor that, and it means a
Okay.
big deal to me. And, I make no apologies.
And one of the things
what I
that
do.
I live in Colorado now, it's wilderness. One of the things that we've really forgot, especially my children growing up, you see those things run through your backyard, and you see all kinds of animals.
They're beautiful.
And they're majestic. But then you go to the grocery store, and it's like
They're in a
90% of the
they're in a
people are
pack.
just in a pack. They don't know. They have no connection to food at all. And so it's very nice, we were raised with it, to know like that thing that you took is going to be on your dinner
Do you
table.
hunt as well?
I've tried.
Well, you may get to it later in your life.
I was
You
always
know.
playing hockey during hunting
No.
season. We've gone bird hunting. I have gone on a hunt with him one time, elk hunting.
Yeah.
But I could never do it because I was always playing hockey.
Not something I push on anybody. I mean, it's not for everybody, but I like bringing down my own meat. I grew up in that family.
Please, could you both give us a nostalgic taste that can transport you back somewhere?
Ooh.
A nostalgic taste, that would be easy for me.
Okay.
Again, if it were venison, I'd remember when I was a kid in Maine in a log cabin. Venison.
With your grandfather?
Yep.
A nostalgia. Oh, I know one.
Come on.
A very specific Canadian cookie,
Oh.
President's Choice, that will take me right back to Muskoka Cottage, very much on the lake, like him, where we'd had these jar of cookies on the counter. I don't even know what kind of cookies they were. I couldn't even tell you today.
President's Choice was the best.
It was the best.
President's Choice.
President's Choice.
They sell it only in Canada, and those cookies
Yeah.
were so unbelievably good. And like I can taste that cookie right now, and I'm back in our kitchen. Yeah.
I thought you were going to poutine or something.
I never had a taste for poutine.
Me either that much.
The gravy and the
Yeah.
And the
shit.
thing is like,
I mean, it's fun,
everybody's
but
so
it
crazy
wasn't-
about it. It's like,
It's all right.
okay, it's very Canadian.
Kurt and Wyatt Russell, thank you so
Thank you.
much for coming
been
on.
so
It's been
gorgeous.
such fun. Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell. What a duo.
Still a heartthrob, Jess.
God, they're so lovely.
Just adorable.
I think they had a really good time.
I hope so.
Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell are in the second season of Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters. And it's on Apple TV. And you can watch it now. Mum Food was really great.
Was it?
Yeah, they loved it.
John Gregory Smith.
Good old John Gregory Smith, the greatest trade book cookbook
It is
ever.
the greatest 'cause we've
It's
done
the
it
gift
nearly
that
every
keeps on
week,
giving. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. That was a really good ep.
Yeah.
I loved it.
For a Monday up lunchtime.
Oh my goodness.
What more would you
Yeah,
want?
it was fabulous. So thank you.